Hello, internet friends. Welcome to the August 4th Helm Public Developer Meeting. We do have a remarkably light schedule because it's the middle of summer and everybody's on vacation. Or holiday, I guess. I've now been corrected. I should say holiday. We'll kick it off with Karen. I think you've got one on KubeCon and Cloud Native Con North America.
Yeah, so for the upcoming KubeCon, so they changed it. Whereas before we were able to do the project kiosk, which was in person, and do the virtual office hours. I guess there's so many projects now. You have to choose either or. So I have signed us up for physical booth. If anyone thinks that it would be more beneficial to do the virtual office hours, let me know. But yeah, as of right now, we are signed up for the project kiosk. It should be half a day. I'm not sure if it's going to be like the first half of the day or the second half of the day yet. So TBD on that. And then also they are offering space to run a project meeting. I kind of messed up last KubeCon. I kind of took that as like a space for the maintainers to use to like meet together. Turns out it's like a public project meeting. And so it's actually a space, it's like something like it's publicly posted on the schedule. And it like, I guess like people from the community can show up to the project meeting. Like it's not just for the maintainers. That being said, do we want, like we have the opportunity to have this space again for a project meeting? Do we want to do it? It didn't seem like there was a need for this at the last KubeCon. So I don't know if there's anything upcoming that like we would want to have an open forum space with the community to use. Anyone have thoughts there? And then it would be on Monday or Tuesday of the week. Yeah.
I think Matt was first. Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to ask if we would use it's possible to use this the way we used our session at KubeCon Seattle, where we just had an open discussion and had people come in and ask questions free form for, I think we did it for an hour at Seattle and packed the room when we did it.
Go ahead, Scott.
I'm like going to put my hand down because I think that's a better idea than what I had.
But now
what was yours? We could do both.
¿Por qué no los dos? I was thinking maybe like Helm for roadmap / wish list session, since we don't have a roadmap yet, really.
I wonder if they can be combined depending on who shows up from the community.
Yeah, because that's the thing is like more people would want to do what you just suggested, Matt. That would be for everyone, you know, and like a Helm 4 thing would probably be only for people who are like, well, you know, really, really involved and are blocked by certain things, or who want to have some better ideas or want to clean things up. Yeah. So yeah, that would be, I think something like a Helm 4 roadmap, if there is even time for that, maybe it could be part of it, but otherwise I think we should defer. I like what you suggested.
I'm gonna have to double check, but I think it's like maybe 90 minutes. Yeah. And then if anyone has thoughts on like whether or not Monday or Tuesday would be better, I know Scott, you tend to have pre-day events. Yeah, or if anyone else has pre-day events, let me know what would be a blocker.
Okay. Actually, sorry, maybe I'm just waffling on this a little bit, but maybe it would be good to have like at least a small section where maybe we can call it like an after thing, you know what I mean? So we do our event and then like most of the people that don't really care take off, so they're not just sitting around bored out of their minds. And then the folks that are interested in you know, what's Helm 4 and beyond, what do we want to do, or what are we doing, could stay.
You mean during the same session, right? Like split it into like two. Okay.
Yeah, and not even necessarily split, but just maybe quarter it. You know, this could be like like a quarter and 3/4 for the rest of the community or something.
Sure. Okay. I guess I will figure out with the maintainers whether Monday or Tuesday works best then. But it sounds like there's some intention here that we should do it. Cool. Okay. That's it for me.
All right, moving on to the next agenda item. We don't have a next agenda item, so are there any things that anybody needs to add on quickly, or should we call this one a short one?
Just one quick mention about that. There are 3 open PRs. We mentioned in a previous meeting, 3 open PRs for insecure registries for OCI. There's like, let's see, there's both the skip TLS verify and insecure being proposed. It shouldn't be something that the whole group needs to talk about, but if I think if anyone's particularly interested in the SDK, then I would like to follow up with them. I have an idea, and we have a direction. I think Max from the Flux project is working on, or it is working on making sure that there are not only is the SDK updated, but also the CLI is updated in the same PR and tests are in. And it's looking pretty good, but it just might be good to check in with anyone else who wants it. And that's my only. If there's nobody, if we're like, well, that all sounds good, then it's not dire. But if someone would like to weigh in, or maybe we can just connect.
Scott, you and I have had conversations on this in the past, and I know it's been a few weeks since or actually probably a month or 2 since we've connected on this from the developers on the Flux side. Let's hit this offline, and you and I can talk more about how we can move this forward, because I know this is certainly an ask across the board.
Yeah, that sounds good. And there is one note about this that probably would be good for someone who's maybe like yourself, Andy, who's familiar with Oris too. It would be nice if we had consistent flags for those commands, but the Oris project doesn't actually have a skip TLS verify option. So until they do, we kind of can't. All we have is an insecure. So as long as we're cool with that, and we can maybe add it in the future and then deprecate one, you know what I mean? So there's backwards compatibility, then I think we'll be good. That's it. Thanks.
I have one thing I'd like to add, if possible. We just had the HIP at 17, I think, which was finally renamed and released. What is the process for implementing HIP 17? HIP 17, for those of you who are unfamiliar, is registration of OCI meme types.
If I remember, the registration is done outside of the Helm area, right? So,
correct.
Yeah. And so I think at this point, it's a matter of following the IANA process to add it. And then if you need sign-offs from other people in the Helm org, you can just, I think you can just ping them. What did we had?
It was more of a, I'm happy to go ahead and submit the form. It was more of a, are we good to go to submit the form based on the content that's in the HIP?
Yeah, if the HIP's approved, I think we're good to go, unless anybody, go ahead, Scott.
Oh yeah, can we, I don't think it is approved, right? Can we move it to approved? Right, it's not approved yet, is it?
it's
Yeah.
The HIP process is kind of weird in that respect, that most of them, I believe, are still in draft, although once they're given I don't know, they're kind of approved, but they're not marked as, I don't.
Yeah, so that's actually one of the things, is that like, I think in a past meeting, I brought this up recently, maybe a couple of times, and I think we've already said that folks seem fine with moving HIP 1 to approved at least. Right, I think that was Matt Butcher. I
Good
think
start.
yeah, we should at least do that. I think you said that in a comment. If I'm not recalling.
That does sound like something I would have said.
Yeah. So how about this? Action item for me is I'll at least move that to approved, and then, or like not moved, but I'll open a PR to move that to approved, and we can do the normal process. And then Andy, how about we can open another PR to move HIP 17 to approved, and maybe once that's approved, we can just do it. I mean, I know we're not really totally following that for every past decision, but we did follow it with OCI. And maybe it's good.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but approval as stated in HIP 001 is done via the PR LGTM process, right? So we should be able to just change anything that has been merged as a PR all the way through to approved, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll open one of those now. And
actually in HIP 010001, there is no approved. It's accepted, I guess is the state.
You're right. It says the final authority for proposal approval, but that marks it as
right. That's right. Yeah, the actual word
is correct. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, like I think those terms are used interchangeably here. But yeah, like there's that little list of things. Okay, I'll open it right now.
Okay. And then really according to this, then once it's approved, then the person who signed up for the implementation may go ahead and do that. So my view then is, Andrew, if you want to submit the form, we're good.
Sounds good.
I think you're I mean, if you have any problems from IANA, which is possible, you have the requisite status in CNCF, I think, to be able to approve. So if you hit any snags, let me know.
We'll do. I'll keep it as transparent as possible.
All right, good detour. I like it. We'll fill this meeting up. So okay. So anything else we want to cover today?
I was just, sorry, I was distracted. I was looking at the HIPS status, and I think, I don't know. I think we should change eventually all of them, their states to at least approval. The HIPS that I wrote, their implementation has been actually in Helm for a while now. So, and then, like, for example, the schedule, that's all done, and maybe they should be final.
Yeah,
so I can actually go review the ones I wrote and do like Scott, do PRs and change the state.
Probably in the future, we should use the suggest feature in GitHub. The last core maintainer or whatever to sign to okay the PR should also open a suggestion to change the status to approved. And that'll just take us a little bit of discipline to get in the habit of, because I think we have.
So what I saw in other projects was that they are actually opened with already accepted as the status. As long as they are not merged, they are not on the main or master branch, right? So
yeah,
the accepted is only on the work in progress draft branch, so to say, and only once the HIP is actually merged, then it would be also accepted on the master branch.
Yeah.
So your pull request is basically to have it accepted and not to have it in draft state.
Yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense. I can see doing it that way. Because it avoids this exact problem. Yeah.
I think, if I'm not wrong, I think the reason for being able to merge it in different states is that they get an assigned number, so that you can then make additional HIPs even after something while an idea is still gestating, and you can refer to that by number.
Yeah, okay, you could merge it before while it's still a draft, right?
I think so. At least that's what I think that's what Matt Fisher was getting at
Mhm.
earlier, but you know, I'm not super familiar. I mean, I haven't done this with a lot of other projects. I've only really seen it, like you were saying, in other places, but I don't know if the value of being able to refer to something by number is worth this part of the process, but I think that was the idea. Oh, and by the way, I did open that PR for anyone who didn't see in the chat. So.
And Fisher approved it already.
Oh, damn. Okay.
He's like, finally, somebody did it.
Which is funny because he's in another meeting that I'm skipping, so. Oh. Okay, all right, on that note, anything else we should cover today?
Oh, just for the assignments, there's a few folks who've been scheduling with me to like connect about the PR reviews. So that's cool, including Philip, who's on the call now. And I think that's the only person. Anyway, yeah, a few other people. So just good news. It's like, hey, there are people interested in stepping up and this process of like, you know, shadowing and, you know, going through it together seems to be working so far. So far, so good. And on that note, I'm happy to take that again for this time around. I am going to be gone in a couple of weeks, just for like 2 weeks. So if someone else could pick that up while I'm gone, that'd be cool. But for now, I'll assign it.
All right, I think with that, we're at the end of the schedule. Anything else? All right, we'll see y'all next week.
Nice seeing you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, bye bye.
Thanks.